Vincent, and welcome to a tutorial video that I'll be shooting for the Remote Accountants channel. And I'm super excited, guys, because I've been waiting to do these tutorials for quite a while. And today I'm going to do an Excel tips video for you guys. I just want to kind of give you an overview of what's planned ahead, is that not in just this video, but in videos ahead. I plan on doing Excel tips for you guys, to do accounting videos for you guys. I'm an accountant myself. I've been an accountant for over 20 years, and so I have a lot of neat tricks and tips for you guys. Some of them will be more basic. This first one will be more of a basic one, and some of them will be complex. But my aim in all of them is to try to make it as simple as possible, so that way you can easily figure it out and kind of carry forward and learn from the video. So we'll dive right into today's video. It's 3 Excel tips that I think that's helped me out as an accountant that I want to tell you guys. Some of these you might know, or all of them you might know. I'm not sure, but if you don't, this will be a great help for you guys, a great tip for you guys in your role as a bookkeeper or accountant, or maybe even in finance or other fields where you happen to be using Excel. So the 3 Excel tips I'll be discussing today are the fill function, and the next one is kind of a quick highlight / capture. I'll show you how that's done. And the next one is using multiple tabs on your spreadsheets. So let's dive into the first Excel tip, the fill function. Some of you might know that if you have a number or value within a cell and you type in a number beneath that, that if you copy that cell, you hit Control copy and then Control V, that you can copy that formula directly on down. Now you can do that for as many cells as you want over there, but there's another neat function that I learned in accounting, and it sometimes is really useful just to do it this way, is you just tap this little corner and you drag it down. And it automatically fills it in beneath you. That's something that I didn't know in accounting, this little corner that could do that. So it's kind of an obscure thing, but some people know that, some people don't. And I think that in this window over here, you can see where it says fill as well. So there's other fill functions that you could do within there. And I remember when I first started out, I do it mostly this way. There used to be a fill function at the very top up there too. But in any case, it was a neat fill function to show you how that's done. So basically what that's doing is it's taking the formula and adding 5 to every value, so that way it's on there, so that way it's done, and you could have that formula read whatever you want. So remember, since this is a fill function, you could do it down, but you can also do it across, so that way it's carried over. So it's just a neat fill function to capture everything that's in there, to capture your formula quickly down in the rows or down through the columns. So the next one, that kind of leads us to the next piece here, the quick highlight / capture. So the quick highlight / capture is a function where you know how to highlight cells, of course, if you just hold down on your cursor and it highlights that for you. Or if you were to hit, if you get your mouse and you click down on that, you could quickly highlight that way, or select the row, or on a sheet you could select it all that way. But what I've found is sometimes is that, particularly in accounting, is that you'll have a header over here and you'll start on row whatever it is down beneath that header right here, header, and here it's row 6, and then the column over here is starting B. So you can't really highlight this, and if you're copying data, whatever it may be, because you're going to capture this information too. Sometimes you just want to capture this stuff in the fields. So the question becomes, well, if it's okay if you just have this set data because it's easy, but what if you have thousands and thousands of rows and you have hundreds of columns? Well, it becomes quite a burden to try to highlight all that information, particularly if you can't do the highlight of everything by clicking that function above, which, if you guys didn't know that, that's a neat function that you guys can utilize if it's falling in line. But if you have to highlight a lot of data and you just have specific data that's kind of falling in the middle or somewhere down on the sheet, one thing you can do is hit Shift, Control, and then hit the down arrow and hit the right arrow. The down arrow will basically capture every row that's down, and then the right arrow will capture every column. Now, if you're missing columns or missing rows, you will have to account for that and hit that Control Shift down more or Control Shift right more to make sure everything is captured. But I found this extremely useful when I have a large amount of data, again, thousands of rows and hundreds of columns, where I have to highlight that data and account for, either copy it or do some sort of fill on it. Like, for instance, here we'll go and hit fill function, we'll hit the yellow, we can underline it, was already underlined before. I can hit italics. So it's functions like that. You can quickly do that. Again, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when there's just here we just have a few rows and a few columns, but when you have a large set of data, and you will, if you work long enough as an accountant or a bookkeeper, you will get clients that have massive amounts of data that you have to compile and help analyze or help account for, that you will have to basically find ways where you can quickly get through the sheets. And so this is just a fast function to get you through that. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is using multiple tabs. Say you see the area down over here. I got cut off for the tabs part, but it's right down there at the bottom as apples, pears, and plus. So there it is. You'll see that in your Excel sheet in case you're looking for it. I've created a tab over here, and you can create a tab, by the way, by hitting just this plus arrow. I'm going to drag the sheet over because I don't want that here in our view particularly. I want the pairs there. So basically, you guys see that I've created that sheet and I've labeled it pairs. So this is just a hypothetical, of course. And so say you had data that was apples. All your apples would be basically filled in over here, of course. But you don't want to mix the pears on the same sheet. So the best way to do it is to create a tab on there and it's labeled pears. Now you see over here I've already created a couple numbers, and that could represent pears. And of course you could have, what I haven't done in these sheets is provided descriptions for the rows and descriptions for the columns. This is just a hypothetical. You guys will have your own data that's going to have those descriptions for you. But here, we have the pears that are labeled out here, and here we have the apples. Well, say that I wanted to add the apples to the pears, right? Well, I just take this sheet over here and hit plus, and what's neat about Excel is you can go over to the pears spreadsheet and highlight that one, and I'll hit return, and then it adds that together. So now you have the apples plus the pears, so you have that value for it. And what's neat about the fill function, as I showed you before, if I highlight that down, it'll go ahead and add the next one. You could check on the formula. It's taking the column plus and the row in that column plus the pairs, and that's B3. So it's column B and then row 3 right there. It's adding that together. Now what's also a neat function in Excel, and I'll show you this real quick, is keeping things static, right? So if you wanted to have, we'll go over here, make it easier for ourselves. We'll have 1, 2, and 3. And say that we wanted to have this one added to this one, but in the next one down, we'd want to keep this so that way, for whatever reason, it's adding the same row and the same column again. The way that you could do that is you add a $sign, and I call it $sign. Again, I think the name of that is string. I'm not quite certain. Somebody could leave in the comments for me. That's what it is in coding. I'm not a coder per se, but I do understand formulas in Excel. But in any case, this keeps it static for you. So if I were to do that fill function that I showed you guys before, right, and kind of review the material, you click on that bottom little corner, you drag it down. You'll see here that we're taking that same thing, we're adding the F7 again versus above. Now, if I didn't have that string in place, and what we'll do is we'll remove that now. So you see here it's F6 plus F7. Here it's changed that to F7 plus F7. If we remove that value right here, and we drag that down, you'll see that will change. There we go, to 5. So basically it changes that value. So basically that $sign in front of the F in front of the 8 keeps that static. Now it depends where you want it placed. Like again, the F stands for the row. I'm sorry, the column. The 8 stands for the row. So it depends what you want to keep static. So that's why I had 2 over here. If I just wanted to keep the column static, I would just have it that way. So I hope this video has been helpful for you guys. If it has been, hit the like button, hit comment on there, and I will try to create little videos like this to help you guys out and to give you guys a little tutorial about Excel tips that can help you out in accounting as a bookkeeper. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, please subscribe, hit the button down below, and look out for the Facebook group that I formed too as well for accountants and bookkeepers. It's called Remote Accounting / Bookkeeping, and the business is hiring them. And I try to post jobs on that group too for everybody, so that's available for you guys too as well. So thank you guys. Again, this is Vince, your host, and again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys.